What's up, people? I made it 2 weeks in a row. Aren't you shocked and appalled? I know I am. Actually, I got up this morning and went to the gym. And so I know, I haven't been for a while. And I'm sure by tomorrow after I go to sleep and get, you lay down and you get still. By the time I try to move in the morning, I would be like, ooh, ouch, ooch. What's up, Ash? It's good to see everybody. I'm going to get started because we got 25 questions. And this packet looks kind of thick, which usually means some of the letters are long. So they're like multi-pages. So I'm going to start right on time. For those of you who don't know, this is how this show works. These letters that we're going to be going over today, responding to today, are questions that people sent in advance. So what's run across the screen will show you how to do it. If you want to participate in the show and submit a question for the future, that is how you do it. Debsterism.com/get-advice is the URL. You fill out the form. There's a little release button. You have to click that. And then you press send or submit or whatever it says. And then that's pretty much it. Okay. Let me get rid of that. All right, let's get started. Today I have on my shirt, it says, I'm just what the fucking my way through life. That's pretty much been my week. Let's see what kind of drama these folks got going on today. Let's see here. This question number 1. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from El Paso, Texas. Summary of issue. I make all the decisions and I'm tired. I'm 20 and my boyfriend is 21. And we've been together for 2 years, living together for the past 7 months. I want to preface this with the fact that I knew this was a trait that he had. I knew he was very indecisive and prefers to just kind of go with the flow of whatever someone else wants. But lately, it feels like I make all the decisions. What we're having for dinner, where we're going, what route we take. Sometimes his choices are dependent on mine as well. Like if I don't want X food, then he won't get it either. Or if he's out doing something and deciding between 2 choices and I'm involved in any way, the decision will be pawned off to me. Otherwise, we are a great couple. I just feel exhausted by all the decisions. As someone who can be quite indecisive myself at times, is this a valid complaint? How do I talk to him about it? What do I do? Ooh, this is hard because evidently, this people-pleasing thing is a part of his personality. And it's really, it's a challenge for me when people write it. They say, well, yeah, I knew they were like this, but I went with the relationship anyway. It's because then it's like, okay, you knew that this was going to be some annoying mess. So why did you involve yourself on a deeper level with this person? So, my thing is this, you guys are, you're young in the 18 to 21 age group. This can't have been like, a really deep relationship or a series of deep relationships at that young age. So I'm going to say, you're living together and you see this. Is this how you see your life continuing for, the next, 5 or 10 years? If the answer is no,
then you have to start thinking about what you're going to do about ending this relationship and finding someone who wants to be a more equal partner as far as energy and decision making and stuff like that goes. Because what I have found when people pawn off decisions on you, it puts them in a position where they can complain. So like they don't do nothing. They don't make any decisions. But you step up and make them. Well, then suddenly they have the right, not to say he's going to do it, but I'm just telling you how this usually goes. Then they start complaining about it. Well, you picked such and such, or you wanted to do it, and I never said, so it becomes annoying, and it becomes something that they use against you when they weren't going to step up and do crap. So what you're going to have to do is find other than just complain, you're going to have to say, look, I need you to decide between A and B. And you can do it like that. Say we can go here or we can go there. Which one do you want to do? And make him give you a response. Say, we're not leaving. We're not going to do nothing until you say which one you want to do. And start training him like that, A or B, or you could do A, B, C. And then, if he has to like pull one out of a box, whatever way he's going to do it, a decision will be made, a choice will be made, and you won't have to do it. That's how my mother did us. We used to shop in like the Sears. What was that other store called? Montgomery Ward. Catalogs, like for school clothes. And I was a little girl, like in first grade, second grade or something. And they had like the pictures of the little dresses, and they were $3 for some kind of price. So, anything on that page I could choose because it was all going to be the same price. It was in my parents' budget. So my mother would open the catalog and she would say, okay, you get to pick 3 dresses. Pick 3 dresses on this page. And I would pick 3 dresses. So, it was training me early to make decisions. Sometimes what happens when people get indecisive like that, they grew up in an environment where they were highly criticized for the decisions that they make. So they decided it's just better not to make any. Hey, Shanice, they just don't want to make any. So it could be that. You didn't really say about what his family history was, but you're going to have to do what I said, come up with a couple of options and make him choose one. And that will start. And then whatever he says, be happy with it. Congratulate him, say, oh, this was fun, this was great. So he's going to get positive reinforcement for making a decision. That's how you're going to break him of this habit. Yes, girl, the Sears, especially the one that came out with the toys in it for Christmas. Oh, we would wear that sucker out, looking at what we wanted, because, it's 4 of us, so it got a lot of use. Question number 2. We got 25 questions. Be sure to share the link around. People aren't used to me showing up. That's the problem. They're not used to it. And plus, this is a different day. But like I said, with my daughter here, this is going to be the day for a while till she moves back out. Question number 2. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Fresno, California. Summary of issue. My boyfriend of 4 months was a total jerk with my friends. My boyfriend has only met my friends once, and there were no issues. But he went out with my friends and I for St. Patrick's Day. When was that? Last Monday? And he said a few really rude things. Like he told my friend that his dog was cuter than hers. That's so stupid. Told me at one point when he didn't like one of my jokes that I quote, I'd be single soon. Oh, did he? Well, we can do that shit right now. Don't wait till tomorrow to do what you could do today. That's what he would have got from me. And then we were talking about how long someone should be single. And I said, we started dating 10 months after his last relationship. It wasn't a dig. It's just part of the conversation. And he responded, well, yeah, that's still longer than your longest relationship. Wow. He refused to apologize after the entire table was shocked at how rude the comment was. I told him to Uber home by himself. He texted me a long apology in the morning and really wants to make it right. I know he's a good person, but I have the ick that he's so socially unaware and refused to apologize in the moment. He's saying it's out of character and he's so embarrassed, but I don't want to date someone that I have to be nervous is going to be rude to people or just going to insult me and make me the butt of the joke. With that being said, do you think I'm being too sensitive, or is this really a good reason to end things? I appreciate that he finally apologized and took accountability and is trying to make it right. But we're so early into dating, I'm not sure how important that is right now. So what did she say? Hold on a second, because, I'll be reading and I forget. Oh, only 4 months, girl, please. I would fire him. My thing is this. Usually when you first start a relationship, that's when everybody's on their best behavior, right? They watching their P's and Q's. They want your friends and families to love them. They just be on their, hey, Angelina. They just be on their best, just putting forth their best effort. What he did was get around your friends, people who care about you, and do his best to humiliate and embarrass you. Now, like I said, my immediate response when he's talking about that you're gonna be single soon was just what I said. Let's not wait. Let's do this shit right now. You're gonna get out of my life as effective immediately. Because one thing you don't do to Cooper is threaten us. We don't do ultimatums and we don't do threats. We're gonna call you on your bluff, and we're gonna do it right then and there. My brothers are the same. My dad, we all like that. So it's like, I think personally that you are seeing the handwriting on the wall. Anyone who would think it was appropriate to treat you that way, especially in front of people, but I mean, period, really, but I mean, to do it, he never did before in private, but now he's going to do it in public. That's my point, is someone that I could not, just like you, I wouldn't be able to trust him. I would never know what kind of trick he was going to pull and what kind of conversation of weirdness was going to come out of his mouth. And if he's going to turn his attention from insulting and attacking me to insulting and attacking like one of my family members or my friend or, one of my brothers or something, see, oh no, now we go fight. So I think it's in your best interest to reconsider this. I mean, it's great that he apologized and all that. But this is, I mean, it wasn't just one mistake. It was a series of mistakes. He kept up in the ante. He didn't stop after the first time and apologize and reined his mouth in. He just kept going and just going crazy and crazy. So you know now what this man is capable of. You know he has no respect for you because someone who respected you would not do something like that to you. So you have a lot of thinking to do, and I hope you make the right decision. Okay? Because otherwise you just... because we have more of the same and trying to figure out, why you feeling so depressed in your relationship. This is a fool. Question number 3. We got 25 questions as usual. This young lady is in the 28 to 34 age group from Seattle. Summary of issue. I moved in with my boyfriend. He insists all house changes be approved by him. I don't feel like it's our home. It's just his. Well, yeah. So what you gonna do about it? Let's see the story here. My partner and I recently started living together in his newly bought home. It's 4 bedrooms. He requested I not pay rent, which I suspect is because he wants to avoid any potential claims on the property if we get married and later divorce. However, I contribute to other expenses like groceries, the internet, the power, and water bills. The issue is that I like a cozy, decorated home with rugs, pictures, plants, and general home decor. My partner, on the other hand, doesn't seem to see the need for these things. Since he wasn't interested in getting them himself, I volunteered to buy rugs for the bedroom and the living room, some throw cushions, plants, a center table, and other small decor items. When I mentioned this to him, he insisted that he needed to see and approve everything before I bought it. While I understand wanting a say in what goes into the home, his wording made me uncomfortable. He said, quote, "You cannot just bring anything into my house. If I don't want or like it, then it can't be here." Wow. This level of control extends to other things too, like not being able to buy something for the kitchen without him questioning why I got it when I bought it and why I didn't ask him first. Because of this, I started to feel like I'm just a guest at his home rather than a partner building a life together. No, what you are is a bang maid. That's what they call it. You're there to help him pay some bills that he don't want to pay and to be somebody for him to sleep with. That's what you're there for. And to clean up. Okay? Understand what time it is. He's not trying to make a home with you. You're there for his convenience. I'm going to finish reading your letter, but I just have to stop and say that now before I forget. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is a hell no situation. You just moved in, I would move the fuck right back out. Hope my apartment that I had was still available, hadn't been rented yet. I'd be like, oh, can I move back in? And I would just go right back to my spot and forget I ever knew his ass. So let's see what else she says. I'm feeling okay, not building a life. He also mentioned that he wants a prenup, stating that what he had before marriage remains his. But if that's the case, why does it matter if I decorate? No matter what I add to the space, the house is still his legally, right? I'm also not doing too much, just bits and pieces there to make the house less naked. Oh, God, she went on it. Okay, there's a whole nother page. See, I told you the stack of papers was high. Part of me wants to just leave things as they are and stop trying. If he doesn't see this as our home and isn't open to making it one together, then maybe I shouldn't bother. At the same time, I wonder if I should try to work within his boundaries and get his approval first, and maybe he'll come around once he sees the changes. But then I ask myself, why should I try so hard to contribute when he doesn't seem to want me to? He gave me a room that also doubles as the house storage in my studio, which, despite sharing it with, quote, things I am grateful for. He has told me I can make some changes to it, but how many changes can I make with the equipment I share the room with? Also, I have always wanted my home to look a certain way, and now being denied of that just feels very sad. It's quite tough because when we were assembling the bed, he didn't let me help out. I sensed that it was because he didn't trust me to do well. The only thing he allowed me to assemble was the bathroom cabinet, and when I was done, he was like, well, did you do it well? Are you sure you screwed it well? Wow. Right now, I feel like I'm living in a borrowed space with nothing truly mine beyond my clothes. It all feels temporary, and that unsettles me. At the same time, I feel guilty for even feeling this way. Some people have partners who don't care at all about the home, and there I am, upset that mine is involved in wielding so much control over it. I need some insights into how to deal with this. Thank you, Deb and the squad. Well, one thing you could tell, I said, tell him, you're worried about something being in the house and it being something that, we have to fight over something. Everything I'm going to buy is something I can box up and take with me when I go. It's nothing going to be nailed down or glued to nothing that you own. It's all going to be stuff I can transport and take with me anywhere I end up. I would tell him that first. Then if he still says there's this, this control thing, I have to approve it first and all this kind of stuff to say, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move right back out. And when I move, we will think about how we want to do this relationship, because I want a partner. I want someone who sees me as something valuable and who can contribute. I don't want someone who just sees me as something to fight against and put walls up against and to try to control everything that I do. I don't want this kind of relationship this dynamic that you're trying to put in here. I don't like it and I don't want it. I'm not going to tolerate it. So, like I said, I'm going to make moves to move right back out of here. Give me a month and I'll be back out. That's what I would do. See, like I told you guys, as soon as I find the time, I don't know when that will be, I want to do another show on respect, because I have several videos, like a 3-video series on it, but I don't think it gets enough attention. I don't know what to do about that. So, but people seem to respond better to the live stream. That was a recorded one. And talk about respect and how many young ladies accept it. Like she's trying to figure out how she could, wait around and see if he'll see and all this other stuff here. You don't argue with a fool. You don't do that because it's pointless. His mind is made up. It's his house. He bought a 4-bedroom house to live in by himself. So, whatever. I'm sure you can find some girl who would be willing to tolerate that nonsense and live in some empty house that's not even as decorated as a model home. But some things be laid sometimes. They bring interior decorators in, they look really nice. So I personally would move right back out. So you think about what you want to do. And if, like I said, when you look at a relationship now, see, is this something you can tolerate for 5 or 10 years? Because you're talking about marrying this man. Do you think he's really going to change? He wants a prenup. He wants to maintain that control. So you move out and save your little money and you buy your own spot. Even if you get a condo or something. See if you can buy it jointly with your parents or something. Because this ain't going to work. You're going to feel small and insignificant and undervalued and a whole bunch of other things in your own home. This is not going to work. Yeah, I would have checked out of this. I don't know. Sometimes I think it's me because I talk to my friends and people, that like like peers, professional peers. And they find out what I do and then they're like, oh, so they want to ask you questions. And in every instance, the women are just tolerating disrespect in order to have a relationship. In every single case. The men just, from cheating to hitting them, to lying to them, to manipulating them in different ways, narcissism, not keeping up their end of the relationship as promised, dumping all the responsibility and housework and childcare on the woman, all kind of stuff. They do all kind of stuff. But the bottom line, once you funnel all the behaviors down, is disrespect. And women take it. Well, that's how it's supposed to be, Michelle. I mean, you would just think about it. You've been living your life all these years before you ever laid eyes on his face, right? And you did evidently quite well for yourself. So why do you suddenly need a man to tell you what to do? That's the part that always drives me crazy. When these women talk about, I need a man to lead me. I'm like, heifer, what was you doing leading yourself all these years and decades and stuff? You're in your 30s now, 40s, and you still looking for a man to lead you? What are you, a dog? What is that? You want to be on a leash? What the heck? I don't get it. But anyway, Michelle, that's what I'm talking about. Say, boy, you better know stay in your envelope. You in the husband envelope, but that don't give you no superpowers over me. Let's move on. Question number 4. Hold on, I got to take a swig. I have wine in this cup and water in this cup. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Well, this was better than my experiment last week. Okay, this is a young lady, 28 to 34. She's out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So I'm an issue. Are we really just friends? I was seeing a man for about 2 months, from the last December to recently in February. He ended things because he felt I was moving too fast. Let's see, December, January, February. Not allowing the situation to develop naturally, and also found it somewhat pressuring. 3 weeks after we stopped seeing each other, we agreed that he would come over to my place just casually. However, what was supposed to be a quick visit turned into a 2-night stay. Oh, you fell for it, huh? Since then, we have been spending time together here and there. For example, the week before last, we didn't see each other at all. But last week, we spent time together on 5 different days, including 3 nights together. Oh, you stupid. I noticed that I'm still head over heels for him. There is a lot of physical closeness between us, but we haven't had actual nook in the past week because it feels it wouldn't be wise. He feels it wouldn't be wise. His view on the situation is that there's nothing between us and we're just hanging out as friends. He has told me he doesn't want to talk about feelings or what this is. And when I try to ask where we stand, I can tell it makes him anxious and his answers are vague. Okay, well, he already broke up with you for doing it. What the fuck are you doing? You haven't learned yet to shut up? The man told you it felt pressuring, and that's why he broke up with you. And now you're not even in a relationship with him, and you're still doing the same dumb shit. Ooh, Lord have mercy. He has said that he doesn't really have romantic feelings for me anymore and isn't interested in dating or relationship with me. However, he says he still cares about me. Yeah. We have many mutual friends, and he has always seemed honest. I know that at least for now, there are no other women in the picture. I, on the other hand, do have feelings for him, and he knows that. The situation feels contradictory because his behavior doesn't always align with what he says. So then she's talking about some different situations. He spent his birthday with her, evidently. He kisses me, holds me close, holds my hand, etc. But as I said, nook is not really happening. When I jokingly asked if this was how he usually spends time with his friends, he said, well, of course not. I left his place yesterday morning and haven't heard from him since. I decided to hold my ground this time and not reach out myself just to see how long it takes for him to contact me or if he does at all. He knows that I have my son this week, so meeting up would be difficult. When we are together, everything is wonderful and we act as if we're still dating. But when we are apart, I hardly hear from him, and most of the time, I'm the one initiating contact or asking if he wants to meet up. I'm really struggling to decide whether I should step away from this situation or keep seeing him. I understand that his feelings for me may not change and that I could end up hurting myself, but at the same time, I like him so much that I want to see if this could lead to something more serious. The man flatly told her, dumbass, to her face, I don't have romantic feelings for you and I don't want a relationship with you. And look at how she is ruminating here. I don't even know if I could call this a situationship since, according to him, there's nothing between us, but clearly there's something more than just friendship going on. Any advice on how to move forward? Yes, you put the brakes on this bullshit and you stop talking to him. You tell him, this is not healthy for me. You know I have feelings for you. I'm going to stop this right now. We're not going to hang out. We're not going to be friends. I don't want you calling me, texting me, sending me emails, smoke signals, pigeons, nothing. I want you to just drop off the face of the earth as far as my life is concerned. I want a man who wants to be with me. I don't want somebody who sits around playing with my feelings in ways that's convenient for him to not feel lonely and alone. So he uses up my dating time on some bullshit. That's what you're supposed to tell him. Well, even if he is, who cares? Because he's not in a relationship with her. So whatever he's doing with whoever he's doing it with is not her business. You don't even need to think about it. The man told you, okay, somebody tells you to your face, I don't want a relationship with you. I don't love you anymore. I don't see us. He just straight told her. It's not like she has to guess or try to figure it out from the way he's talking to her and treating her stuff. He told her using words, and she still want to act like what he said is something different. I'm like, I have too much pride for that. I would never let some man have to talk to me like that. But I wouldn't have pressed him anyway, because I'm not that type. I'm not gonna be asking you where is this and where we going, what is this going on, and what are we? And I would never lower myself to that. I am the queen and you are the peasant. So I'm not gonna be asking you shit. I'm gonna tell you stuff. And you gonna either do my bidding or you gonna get goss. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's not no A and B, it's all about me. What I want and what I need. And if you're not going to give it to me, then get out of my face and make room for somebody who will. Oh no, God, giggles. Well, his behavior, I mean, she's the one allowing this. Let me put it that way. You know what I mean? She's allowing this. She says, well, I'm going to get hurt. She's already hurt. And she's hanging on to hope that he's going to change and give her what she wants. And he's already straight to her. That ain't going to happen, chick. So I don't know what to tell her. There's something wrong with her. Let's move on. Question number 5. This is a female in 35 to 41 age group from Norfolk, Virginia. Summary of issue. My ex from 15 years ago. So my ex from 15 years ago that I was engaged to kissed another woman when we were together. I broke it off and moved out and started a new life. Well, he has always reached out to me periodically, and just recently I responded that I'm not interested in rekindling anything. Well, he keeps messaging me, and now his brother friend requested me on social media. Okay. So what is the reason why you did not close your page and make it private and block him? What explain that to me. You can write back and let us know, because I'm very curious. One part of me feels like it's been so long. I was really close with this family, so it's really a big deal. But another part of me feels uneasy and wonders why, after all this time, he and his circle are reaching out. Because there's some malarkey afoot, that's what. Aside from kissing the other woman, he was a great boyfriend. He flew 3,000 miles to help me when I needed him. He drove the entire way back and didn't ask me to drive or pay for any expenses. He helped me when my apartment flooded when we were dating for just 2 months. He came over and cleaned everything for me. He lent me his car when I needed one because mine was in the shop. I ended up in a car accident and ruined his car, and he was fine with it and got it fixed on his own. What should I do? Well, he kissed another woman and you broke it off. So he violated. I'll come up with some weird words, because milk toast was my word of the week for about a year. And then I've moved on to other things. But I am of the mind that, when people violate your boundaries and you accept it, that they have no qualms about doing it over and over again. So for me, I would have blocked him. He wouldn't have been able to reach out to me, and neither would any of his family or friends, because I would have closed my page. So then I closed a bunch of my Facebook pages because they want you to verify something or something. I'm like, I'm not doing that. It's not that important. It's not that big of a deal. Trust. So they said, you can't access these pages. I'm like, okay. I don't know. I guess I just don't have the patience for this kind of stuff anymore. It's great that he did all these wonderful things, but then he turned around and kissed some woman when he's supposed to be dating you in an exclusive relationship. So it's nice that he did great things, but then he did a major fuck up. So all bets are off as far as I'm concerned. You have to make that decision. The fact that you're sitting up here writing, talking about what should I do, shows me that you're considering going back with him. And I'm telling you that would be a mistake. I mean, you're accepting the disrespect. going to overlook it because you want that man more than you want to be respected. Yeah, I'm telling you, mine, if my mind, like the one that called me, when he called and like I had a dream that motherfucker died, right? I was all happy in a dream. It was like his spirit had come to visit me, right? So I really thought that he was dead. In a dream, it was like, the white, smoky looking, blurred looking thing. And he was sitting by my bed in a dream. And I was like, oh, what are you doing? Like having a conversation, like, what are you doing here? You don't look right. There's something going, I'm like, I figured out that this was a spirit. Girls, I don't know, maybe about 3 or 4 months later, my phone rings and it's him. He had gotten my number from his stupid sister that I used to talk to. And I was like, what are you doing on the phone? I was like shocked. I said, who is this? And he said his name, which I'm not going to repeat. And I was like, what? I thought you died. And he was like, what? Why would you think that? I said, because I had a dream about it. And I was so happy. And he was so through with me. But it was true. He was so through. But yeah, I was like, man, even the devil don't want you. Satan be like, oh no, this motherfucker got to go. He was unbelievable. Yeah, I've had some really interesting relationships. Yeah, they do it again because you let him get away with it. Essentially, it's like he doesn't suffer any repercussions. Just a temporary, break, and here you are right back. He could go eat horse poopy and die for all I cared before he would ever get to be around me again. Question number 6. This is a female in the 35 to 42 age group from Swinton in the UK. Same issue. My brother-in-law always expects us to pay and or cook and clean up after him. Okay. Well, why would he expect something like that? There must be something that you're doing that makes him feel like that's okay. But let's see the story here. My brother-in-law always expects my husband and I to pay for him whenever we go out to eat or do anything that costs money. If we don't go out to eat, then we have to cook and clean. Not once has he offered to pitch in. He's 1 year younger than me. She's 37, I'm 38, and my husband is 40. Brother-in-law has struggled holding on to jobs because he wants to do something he, quote, loves. But in my opinion, that's not an excuse. He has no children and no mortgage. I'm employed with a job I do not love because I have bills to pay and I have a child. To top it off, he doesn't even say thank you. He's invited himself to spend the night again tonight, and now we're going to be faced with this dilemma again. Should I say something? Should I ask him to pay for his meal if we go out to dinner? I want to preface this by saying that this only happened a few times. It wouldn't bother me. But not once has this 37-year-old man offered to contribute. Okay, so you and your milquetoast-ass husband. Oh, good job, Michelle. You and your milquetoast-ass husband sitting up there waiting for him to volunteer instead of telling them we're not paying for you anymore. If you don't come over here unless we invite you, and ain't nobody cleaning up after you because your mama don't live here. You don't feel like you could tell him that? You see how quickly those words flowed from me? Like, I'm not doing that for you. You're a grown-ass man. Get out of here. You better clean up after yourself, and you better feed yourself too. Anything that you want to eat, if we go out, you're going to pay for it. And eat and drink, you're going to pay for it. We're not paying. I'm getting separate checks. So if you don't want to pay nothing, then you just be sitting there looking stupid because we're not paying for you. And that would just be that. It's not hard. That's good. I wish I could do a thumbs up on Michelle's comment. Actually, I have to put it across the screen because it's so beautiful. Yep, and he gonna toe that line too. He gonna toe that line because he respects you. He doesn't want to do anything that's gonna mess up his relationship after he worked so hard to get you. These girls don't understand that. They are more afraid of losing the dude than they are of, him not respecting and adoring them. I can't be with a man who doesn't respect me. I want him to be like interested in drinking my bath water. That's what I want. It's like, oh, this is so delicious. Like Eddie Murphy. This is delicious. This is the best water I ever had in my life. Yeah, I just couldn't. Question number 7. Let's move on. We got 25 questions, and like a lot of them are probably pretty long. She's from Toronto. Summary issue. How did I get over the guilt of ending my 2.5 year relationship with my now ex-fiance? I ended my relationship with my ex of 2.5 years. I know ending relationships comes with a lot of guilt and questioning. And here I am. Does it really? I've never had guilt or questioning. Things started off great. We seem to have a lot in common and want the same things. We got engaged after 2 years, and everything seemed to be going great except the signs of him enjoying drinking. I wouldn't say he was a full-blown alcoholic, but he enjoyed a few mixed drinks after work and would at least once a week, maybe twice, get fairly drunk after work. It got to the point where I did start to keep an eye on his drinking. He was drinking at times 2 bottles of tequila per week. Whoa. I told him a handful of times I was worried about his drinking. He would tell me he didn't think he had a problem. I eventually said if he continued to drink this way, he got hammered, drove home drunk, that I would not continue staying in the relationship. Once more, he drank himself silly and was an asshole to me when he drank. Looking back, he was an asshole a handful of times when he drank. Towards the very end, I believe he started to realize how serious I was. And he did stop drinking for a while, but he's now drinking again. But I was already 1 foot out the door. I started to realize I wouldn't be happy if I stayed, so I ended things. There were a couple of things besides the drinking that I wasn't happy about. I now can't help but question myself that I didn't work through things hard enough, that I didn't try harder on my end. That if I stayed a little longer and had more patience and talked through more with him, maybe things would be different. This is also coming from a place of him feeling like I didn't give him enough of a chance. How does one move forward from a breakup like this? Girl, you gave him all kind of chances. You told him to stop. You told him to cut back. He drinking and driving drunk. He's going to kill himself. Worse yet is when they don't die and they end up like a paraplegic. Then they got to have somebody take care of them, sitting in a wheelchair and just not doing nothing except being able to blink for the rest of their life. You're too young for that shit. So if he gonna go out like that, let him go do it by himself. Let his parents take care of him, or the state or something. I mean, I would not be in a situation like that. I had one of my friends, her nephew was so hammered and driving. He went in the drive-through line at In-N-Out restaurants. You know, it's one way, right? Just one car at a time. And he passed out behind the wheel and nobody else could get their food. They had to come and get the police to get him, to move the car out to drive-through because dude was passed the fuck out. Well, of course, they took his car and he had, it was all bad for him. But yeah, I mean, that's how much of a drunk he was. So I'm thinking, you please stop feeling guilty. He's a grown man. He made choices, and the choices were choices that you did not like. You did not want to marry him. Like I said, you projected into the future. 5 or 10 years from now, is this how you imagine your life being? You saw that picture and you were like, oh, hell to the no. And so you do stand, and that's what you should do. Yeah. I don't understand why this is the problem, but and why you having such a problem with it, but you need to stop and instead be thanking God, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, all of them, that you escaped this hot mess. Question number 8. This is a female, 18 to 21 age group from St. Paul, Minnesota. Summary of issue. How do I get over my anger at my ex-boyfriend after he slut-shamed me? Oh. We met in university and dated for 3 months. One day, he sat me down and asked me about all my prior Nook history. And when I told him that he was only the third person I've been with, he asked a lot of detail about the second guy. He then proceeded to tell me he would never be with someone like me and told me every girl he's been with before me were V's, but he loves me so much that he will overlook this. Deb, he's had way more partners than me. I got furious, so he apologized and told me he didn't mean it. He's just angry. But I didn't believe him, so I broke up with him a week after this conversation over text. He asked to talk face-to-face, so we met in campus. First, he tried to make me change my mind about how, quote, our love can fix anything. When I said no, he told me how disgusted he was with me when we talked that day and how I should only have a blank screw buddy because that's all I can do in life. Wow. I was so shocked and could only tell him he's a disgusting one, but he still got the last word and walked away. Then I blocked him on everything, which you should have done as soon as you broke up with him. It's been a month since this happened. I can't get over it because I have been nothing but kind and genuine and loving towards him. And this is how he speaks to me. See what I mean? The disrespect. And I couldn't even talk back. Also, I met almost all his friends and they keep giving me bad stares, so I cannot imagine how he's been talking about me. How can I get over this? I still cry thinking about the things he said, and I'm so angry. I feel like breaking no contact and cussing him out. No, you're not going to do that. Let me tell you, okay, now I'm not mad at you. You're young. And what did you say you are? Right. You're only 18 or 21. You're a kid. But this is time for you to learn some valuable lessons here. You made several very big mistakes in handling this. Number one, if a man asks you about prior partners, you don't say a word. You say, you don't need to know that. We're going to talk about what's going on right here, right now. I'm not going to tell you about my past, and I'm not going to ask you about yours. My past starts today. Okay. So you never fall for that trap. That was the first mistake. Y'all want to be honest. You want to tell everything. You want to share. And when he asked me, so fucking what? They're gonna ask you a whole bunch of dumb shit. You don't answer it. Okay, that's the number one thing you don't do. Number two mistake that you made is when he said you broke up with him by text. Okay, that's the point at which you should have blocked him on everything and went totally no contact. The mistake you made was you did not block him, was you left the door open for him to come and wreak havoc in your life again. And then so that's mistake number two. Mistake number three was you went to meet him. Okay, do you know? I mean, he's young and stupid, but a lot of women don't ever come back from those meetings after they break up with a dude. He's so angry and so, they get so pissed, their ego gets involved. The women end up in shallow graves, okay, or they never get found again, never see nothing. You never, after you break up with a guy, you never go to meet him unless you go with helicopters or like all your uncles and cousins and brothers and stuff who's strapped, something like that you could go. But other than that, you don't meet exes ever. You don't ever go to meet them. Now they cease to exist. They're dead to you. Okay. But if you have blocked him like you're supposed to, none of what subsequently happened would have been able to happen. So see, the reason I'm telling you this now, because you're young, this is probably one of your first relationships. You made three very, very big mistakes, and I don't want you to make these again. And the young ladies listening, I want them to be aware of these mistakes so they don't repeat what you did. Okay. Number one, you don't tell a man shit about your exes and who you slept with. It's none of his goddamn business. Number two, when you break up with them, you block them immediately on everything possible. You close your pages, make them private. You block them on everything. Email, text, phone, all your social media, they're blocked completely. And number three, when you break up with a man, you never go to meet them. You never be anywhere where they are. Okay. Just three very important rules. Now, I want you to stop being mad. It's not going to help you. Learn some valuable lessons here. So just scream better next time. Yeah, it's always dangerous. I mean, too many women, they just don't, they never seen again breathing, let me put it that way. Because them dudes get mad. How dare you leave me, kind of thing. Question number 9. This is a female in the 42 to 49 age group from Chula Vista, California, a summary of issue. I need to ask about a toxic friendship that I can't seem to get out of. I'm in a friendship that I think might be toxic for the past year and a half. I'm 42. He's 37. I am attracted to him, and he's admitted attracted to me at times, but he also struggles with his sexuality, so I don't feel comfortable trying to move past friendship when I think he's still trying to figure that out. He's also admitted being attracted to other people, but no relationship with anyone in 4 years. He's also admitted to being a functional alcoholic. Okay, so why are you attracted to this? This is a big issue for me, partially because I worry about him, but also because I have alcoholism in my family, and I don't want that in my relationship. Sometimes this makes it hard to even be friends because all he wants to do is drink, and he doesn't have deep conversations unless he's been drinking. He's very up and down as well. I don't always know what to expect, and sometimes that makes it hard to count on him as a friend, and he's hurt me a good bit because of this. Everything tends to have to be convenient for or about him. Hey, so what are you getting out of this? I truly believe he's a good person. I care about him. However, I feel like he completely deregulates my nervous system when I spend too much time with him. I feel physically safe for some reason, not psychologically safe. He would never purposely hurt me, but he stresses me out so much, sometimes because I don't know what's coming next. The kicker, due to recent changes at work, we have to work together now. But I can't just go no contact, but I don't know how to back away from him without hurting him. But if I don't, he will continue to hurt me. What do? Change jobs. Shit. Guess what? Transfer. There's all kinds of things that you could do. Personally, I mean, I would look for a new job and be out of there, personally. Yeah, I know. That's the question of the week, Shay. Why is the bar so low, ladies? Why is that? Yeah, I don't know what she's doing. All his feelings and his alcoholism and his bipolarism and all his issues. I just would not give a fuck to tell him, look, you unless it's about work, don't talk to me. Stay a fuck away from me. Don't talk to me. Don't even look at me. That's what we're going to do, and we're not friends. I'm telling you, because I dated this guy then he was like, what was that day? 420. Isn't that April? Okay. So the 420 day came up and he was just blazing away. Well, I have a history of asthma as a kid. I cannot be around any kind of smoke. I missed more kindergarten being at home sick than I did go to school. So my mother it wasn't really called homeschooling then, but that's essentially what happened because I would be sick with the asthma all the time. That cold morning air triggered attacks for me. So, yeah, it was bad. I've got allergy injections and stuff later in life so that my tolerance now is better so I don't get sick as much, but I still can't be around smoke. It just irritates my lungs horribly. So he wants to sit around smoking. I'm like, okay, yeah, well, this shit here is over. And he's like, why? I'm like, cause I'm not saying you can't do it, but cause I don't be trying to tell grown folks what to do. I'm just telling you that it's not going to work for me and my lungs. And so I can't be around you. I'm not trying to end up in the hospital. I ain't about that life. And so I had to leave dude alone. And he was cool. Sagittarius and Leo. We had some good times, but once that happened, I couldn't deal with him anymore. Let's see what she say. 4 life sentences. He killed her. Oh my God. Okay, well, that's life sentence number 5. No. I don't even understand. Yeah, I think what's going to happen, if some more women learn to really love themselves and not tolerate disrespect, men would just be fucked because no woman would want to be bothered with them. They would all have to be gay because women would be like, oh, hell to the no. I don't want no parts of this. You don't even know how to talk to somebody. You don't know how to treat nobody. So they wouldn't get any play whatsoever. Yes, they do. Rafi, some people, how do I put this? Some people's lives are so empty, so boring, so mundane. They don't have anything that brings them personal joy or that they're excited about doing, like hobbies and interests and stuff. They don't have any. So what they have, relationships become their hobby. Their partner becomes their hobby. And so they look for that relationship for entertainment, excitement, involvement, for their emotions to be stirred, for their imagination. And everything comes from their relationships with, whoever they're dealing with in the moment. When they don't have a partner, they feel lost. When they do, they glob onto them and they accept any and everything because they feel like that and they need this person so they can feel alive. So yes, it's a really interesting dynamic. Seen it way too many times, but men and women thrive on that kind of drama. So let's move on. Question number 10. This is a young lady in a 22 to 27 age group from Irving, Texas. Summer issue. I feel like my boyfriend has a gaming addiction and it's affecting our relationship. Oh, good. It's not super long. No, I got scared. I'm 25 and my boyfriend is 32. He's 32 and we've been together almost 3 years. I'm writing because I think my boyfriend has an addiction with gaming. The PlayStation beep is literally the first thing I hear every morning, like it's a fucking alarm. I have sat and noticed the pattern. He wakes up about 7 a.m., spends 30 minutes to an hour in the shower. He gets out and hops right on the game around 8:30. He will literally play until around 10, 11 at night. The only time he leaves the room is to eat and use the bathroom. Every time I call it out, he always says something about how I'm ruining his fun or I'm keeping him from what makes him happy. I'm 37 weeks pregnant and the only income he has is unemployment. Okay, you stupid. He has had a steady job and everything was good, but since he lost it about 3 months ago, it's been rough. I feel like his gaming is an addiction more than a hobby, and it's becoming an issue as he thinks it's okay to play the game for 8 to 13 hours a day instead of looking for a steady job. What do I do? Well, it depends how brave you are. It depends how brave you are. Now, what I might do is stage a break-in. And guess what? The only thing that we stolen is the PlayStation and all his games. And then I'd be like, oh my God, what shall we do? Maybe you have to get a job now so you can have money to buy another one. Yeah, that's what I think is his escape. He's upset. You know, I mean, he probably feels bad because he doesn't have a job, but doesn't sound like he's put much effort into looking for one either. Because he could even work temporary. Well, he just lost a job 3 months ago. So he was working. That's what she said. He was working and everything was fine and good, except he lost his job 3 months ago. So, yeah, I'm telling you, I'd be like, Rakim Nim, come on in here. Bust that window right there. I can replace that. And get in there and steal that PlayStation. And take all them games. And then that'd be the only thing that got stolen in the whole house. You think I'm lying? You know I'm devious. I would tell you, no, you're not gonna be sitting around playing video games. And don't ask me for no money either. Not happening, Captain. That's what would happen there. And then if he went and bought another one, the same thing would happen. It's like, wow, they must have been watching the house and seeing you come in with the box. You think I'm kidding? Shh. Y'all know me. Yes, I'm gonna figure out some kind of way to get you back. He's trying to put all this on you. So you know when the baby comes, you're not gonna be able to work. His unemployment's gonna run out soon. Isn't it only 6 months now? So it's been 3 months already. So he's halfway through it. Those jobs are hard to get. I know a guy, he's like really good. He used to have a YouTube channel where he played games and people paid him money to watch him play. But he finally got a job designing games and stuff and doing testing or whatever. But I mean, it took years for that to happen. It's not an instant thing. And then, over here in California in the gaming, the tech industry, they laying people off. So that might not quite be the hustle that he's looking for. He just needs a regular job. Let's move on. Question number 11. This is a young lady, 20 to 34 from Elizabeth, New Jersey. Oh, I wonder where that is. Some issue. Do sleazy men ever grow up? Is water wet? I'm quite new to the recent dating scene. I gave up a while ago and have been on my own for 5 years. It was in that relationship for 6 years. I thought I put myself out there since I'm done with the healing work on myself, and now I'm regretting it big time. And she put that in caps. Guys my age and younger, I'm 32, by the way, just seem to want to jump straight into bed. That's not for me. So I thought I'd give an older guy a chance, 42 for context. Just 2 days in, he asked me out on a date, told me that I'm more shy in person. Then he hits me with, quote, I like a shy girl. Means I have to work harder to get her into bed. Wow. I'm done, Deb. I'm putting myself back on the non-dating box for good. Deb, oh my God, do they ever grow up? Nope. They just become old and still stupid. They're just old stupid. Because then they can't even lay no pipe, which, might be the redeeming value for at least a young dude, You get that. But, when they old, this shit don't be working right. And so then you got to do all this work to make it have lift. It's just too much work. But then you're exhausted and just annoyed. But they always still have this mindset like, they just really just hitting the sheets like super hard and stuff. Don't nobody will know old ass man. Like I said, I'm old myself. I don't fuck with them either. Every guy I go out with is like 10, 15 years younger than me. And I like it like that. And they seem to like me too. So that works for both of us. I'm trying to be no old man. I don't have shit to do. I'm not going to do that to myself. Don't like disappointing certain body parts. Because I'll be mad as hell. That's not going to work. So your attitude towards being done and not wanting to date, this is an overwhelming pattern. As a matter of fact, there's an article in the Atlantic recently about how young people are like, teens and young adults and, college age people, their dating relationships have like trickled down to almost nothing compared to like my generation. So it's like, what is this? Gen Z, millennials? I don't know, whatever. I don't know. I have to read the article later, but I saved it because I thought it was going to be something interesting, but it just came to mind. So this is a trend. This is a worldwide trend that people are not getting into relationships. They're not seeing the value of it. And even when they get in one, it's all fucked up. So then they get right back out and they become like you, where they don't want to deal with it. That's right, Michelle. Michelle, that's what I'm talking about, girl. I think, by the time a woman gets in her 30s, 40s, she should be with a younger man, because women, A, live longer than men, and B, women take better care of themselves than most men do. So, she might be older than him, but health-wise and physique-wise and everything, she's looking better than him. So I don't really see the problem about it. And the young man, if he's a young man with his shit together, he's going to be popping mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and financially. Plus, he has energy at the end of the day. Yeah, it's coming. It's going to be interesting. But yeah, it's in the Atlantic. And if you have a subscription, you can read it yourself, and then we can talk about it someday. I have to figure out some kind of alternative way to do my show, because sharing this room with her is just like, it's not working. I can't do my pop-ups the way I want to. Okay, let me see. So sleazy meal. So let's move on. Question number 12. This is a male in the 22 to 27 age group from Fort Collins, Colorado. Sorry of issue. Is this potentially a pregnancy scam? About a month ago, I met this woman online. We ended up hooking up. At one point, the C slipped off. We weren't sure when or how. So I gave her cash for a plan B, but I was still pretty nervous since I don't want to be a father, especially with someone who is really just a hookup. Okay, so then you need to stop hooking up. Okay, this is stupid and risky behavior, and shit happens. Okay, because C's are not really that dependable for birth control. They're more dependable to keep you from, getting some kind of disease, but even they can't protect you 100% from that. So you depended on a little piece of rubber to protect your wallet for 18 years. You're an idiot. Now, let me just continue. 3 weeks after we met, I texted her and asked if she could share the results of her next pregnancy test just for my peace of mind. No response. A few days later, I texted her again. Still no response. So I called her and her phone rings for like 2 minutes straight. Then 2 days ago, I messaged her on the dating site and she said her phone was stolen and she gave me a new phone number. It's an app. I text her and asked her if she had taken any recent pregnancy tests. She was like, I thought I told you I'm pregnant. We video chat and talk about what to do. She asked me what I thought we should do, and I advocate for getting a termination. We barely know each other and have zero interest in dating each other going forward. I really don't want to bring a child into this world into a broken situation like that. And yet you fucked her. You see what I mean about you? You're stupid. If this is your kid and it's not a scam, you get stuck with 18 years of child support, it's going to serve you right, because you're being really stupid and irresponsible right now. You don't know the bitch. You never don't want to have no kids with the bitch, and yet you sitting up here screwing her. Don't you know that's how babies are made? If you don't want to have a kid with some rando, you do what I said and keep your dick in your pants. I have a video on this channel about it. Yeah, this might be a scam, but still so many young guys fall into this trap. They run around sticking their dick in anything, talking about I'm getting a hookup. You're a fucking idiot. It's not only are you risking disease, but you're risking a baby. And your wallet is going to get tapped for 18 years. And it won't be shit you can do about it. Everything you earn, she going to get 25% of it for that kid. You stupid fools. For that 2 minutes of fun you going to have. Because you know they don't be putting it down. Just say it's 5 minutes, okay? And you risking 18 years of your financial security for that? You're a fool. So let's see what other game she playing. I don't really want to be, okay, into broken. And she seems somewhat receptive to the idea of a termination. She knows the cost of it, which I interject and offer to pay for the entire thing. And she mentions that she might be able to get away from her job long enough to go to a Planned Parenthood clinic But since she drives a company car and they track the GPS, up until this point, I'm freaking out since I think it's all 100% legit. At this point, I started to want to verify what she's saying, so I asked her for a picture of the positive pregnancy test, and she sends one back like a minute or two later with a pretty clear set of lines. I do a reverse Google image search and nothing identical comes up. Okay, so I'll tell you about something scandalous a friend of mine did. Yesterday morning, I texted her and offered to go with her to this clinic, largely because I want to be there while they verify whether she's actually pregnant. At first, she asked when I'm free. Then soon after, she said she'll just go with her sister. I asked to come as well, and she said that she's embarrassed and she doesn't want her sister to start asking questions about who I am. Soon after, she asked me if the doctor can call me. I asked her what clinic the doctor was with and what they wanted to talk about. I also asked if she and I could video chat and I could watch her take a pregnancy test live. I didn't get a response for a few hours, so I blocked her thinking it was a scam. But a few hours later, I unblocked her and just told her I had an issue with my phone, but followed up on my questions, and I haven't heard from her since. I've been talking to one of my friends about it, and she said she's 99% sure she's scamming me. What do you ladies of the squad think? And what should I do to determine whether this is legit or a scam? I want to make sure I get this right because while I don't want to get scammed out of money or personal information, I very much don't want to be on the hook for 18 years of child support if I think it's a scam and it's actually not. It doesn't matter. Like I said, if it's real, then you find out. Once the kid is born, you get a paternity test. I think it's a scam too. But let me tell you about my scandalous friend. Okay, now I was pregnant with my daughter, and I knew this woman, and she was dating this guy, and he had just done her dirty. I mean, she was at my house crying for 2 days. I just let her stay there, and so she was crying and all upset. She telling me all this dirty stuff he had done to her. So then she worked in her mind that she was going to tell him that she was pregnant. And so I said, well, but you're not. I mean, how does that work? She says, yeah, but you are. So she gave me $500 to give her some of my pregnancy pee. Seeing as how this dude had done her so dirty, I gladly took that money because I needed it for baby stuff and stuff anyway. And so what he did, he wanted her to, take the test, while he was there. So she goes into the bathroom, and what she had stuck in her underwear was a little tube of my pee. So she pours it on a little test. And then, he's like right outside the door, but she peed and everything, but she poured my pee over it instead of hers. And so she go leave out the bathroom and she give him the test, and they stand there watching it until the lines appear, right? So, I mean, it was a real test and she really did it and it really came up positive. So dude was like, I know, it was so scandalous. And so, yes, I'm telling you, this is a true story. And so, I forget what amount of money she got out of, but it was a lot, way more than the $500 because he wanted her to shut up about it. And then he paid for it. And she said, well, I'm going to miss a week of work. He paid her for that. I mean, she got like a chunk of change out of this fool because he was so scared. He didn't know what to do. And so, did I feel bad about that? Absolutely not. Because the way he had done her so dirty, he deserved that in spades. You should not treat people like that. And then you don't have to worry about these kind of games getting played on you. So yeah, we was high-fiving. Girl, I was happy. Yeah, so that's what happened there. Now, like I said, did I feel good? No, I'm telling you, that I know that was probably like a bad thing to do, but at the time and still to this day, I don't feel bad about it at all because he needed to get paid back. He needed a taste of some real, like I said, a match energy. I wasn't using that phrase then, but that's exactly what it was. You gonna fuck over my friend? Let me show you how we fuck over you. And that's how we did it. Yeah, he got played big time. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. If it's some scandalous shit afoot, I'm going to be all up in it. Some scandalous behavior. I'm the first one up there, pushing my way to the front to say, ooh, me. So let's move on. Question number 13. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Evansville, Indiana. Summary of issue. My girlfriend and I are at a crossroads after a major incident during our vacation. I need advice on therapy and moving forward. How do I continue? You don't go to therapy with a mere girlfriend. What's wrong with you? Wasting money. We were on vacation in New York City. I was on a work trip and she was tagging along. When she got extremely drunk one night, I won't go into every detail, but she became belligerent, made a scene at the bar, and threw a drink at me. Whoa. She then began to hurl verbal abuse at me across the room. I mean, full on screaming. It was by far the worst I've ever seen her, and honestly, the worst thing anyone has ever done to me. She claims she doesn't remember most of it, but has acknowledged it was the worst thing she's ever done. She was doing it because she thought I was flirting with someone. She has jealousy issues, which she brought up in an honest conversation last night, and that makes a lot of sense for our arguments in the past. I had to talk to her friend afterward to piece together parts of what happened, since my girlfriend went from crazy to calm after her friend explained to her that what she thought was the case was not the case. I was being separated from her by security because they just knew that we had to be separated, despite me not doing anything. There was no retaliation, no anger, nothing. I just wanted her to get her coat and take her home. She begged forgiveness in that Uber ride home, but I was so mad at her. It's worth saying that we had 2 more weeks of vacation together after this, but we stayed on the trip and actually had such an amazing time. I'm confused and conflicted about our time after the incident because it was truly our best time together. I felt so deeply in love. Oh, you easy. We got back home after our vacation. My girlfriend found out I spoke to her friend about the situation and she got upset, saying she felt I should have protected her by keeping it private. This is the friend who was literally there, Deb. She did this in public, remember? This led to an argument where I pointed out the situation was already messy because of her actions, not because I talked about it. For the first time, I've started thinking about what life without her might look like, which I kind of hate. She has a history of jealousy issues that I'm now seeing contribute to many of our past conflicts. We've been discussing our future, marriage, kids, relocating to New York more easily than ever. Despite all this, we start couples therapy next week. I'm going to New York for work soon and honestly looking forward to having some privacy and space, though I haven't told her this. I gave her a second chance because I do love her and she is genuinely trying to change, but I'm worried about so many things. I don't want retribution. I just don't want us to go backward. I'd appreciate any advice. How can I continue in this? You don't. See, now this is a reverse situation because, I talk about respect. She totally disrespected you in public and just like went hog wild, buck wild crazy. And you would see, were me, I would have put her ass on the first thing smoking back to wherever the fuck she came from and told her, you're not going to be in New York with me. You done that chose your ass. Well, you out of here, chick. And that would have been it. She would have been gone. Yes, they do. They love drama. That's what it is. Not necessarily toxicity. They love the drama, the excitement, the rush of adrenaline that they get from women acting a zip damn fool. I had a boyfriend he flat out told me, I like mean women and you're not mean enough. I'm like, oh, is that it? He did. I mean, the me that I am now, he would have been madly in love. But, I was younger then and I was kind of calm and I don't know. I still don't really say much, but I sure be thinking a lot. And then when the time comes, I will cuss you out. I don't really care anymore. But at the time, I was young and I was like calmer and I was still living with my parents and I didn't want them seeing me acting a fool and stuff. And it was just a different situation, a different time. Yeah, he said that he liked mean women. I was like, wow. Shut up, Candace. Probably right. But I didn't, I wasn't trying to look at him like that. But yeah, this is really sad. But you want to know how you can continue this? I'm trying to figure out why you would want to. You need to ask yourself that you're going to be in New York with some of the smartest, most highest paid, good looking, educated women in the country. And your ass is worried about this stupid ass drunk heifer that acts a fool when she gets jealous. Dude, you need to let this go. When you move to New York for your job, break up with her, if not before. Question number 14. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Quincy, Massachusetts. I wonder where that is. Summary of issue. How do people keep dating? I'm now 30 and I've been looking for my person consistently for 5 years after the end of a 4-year-long relationship. I've been on so many dates, it's embarrassing. I've had a couple of short relationships within that time for the past 5 years. It feels impossible to actually meet somebody that you like and they will like you back. Damn, I feel so discouraged. I don't want to give up, but honestly, I don't understand how to keep doing this either. I've always envisioned being a wife. Do you have any uplifting words for me? I do not. I do not. I'm going to tell you this. With men, they all have something wrong with them. Okay. They all have something wrong with them. What you have to decide is what level of stupidity you can tolerate. What is it that's just absolutely no go? That ain't happening. I'm not talking to you. We're not even going to do this. Two, yeah, I can kind of deal with this. This might be okay. You could live with this for 5 or 10 years. That level of tolerance. You might roll your eyes or something, but it's not really super annoying. It's not criminal. It's not egregious. It's not disrespect. It's just silly. If you can find a man who's just silly, then you could probably work with him. You could make that work. But, you talking about somebody likes you and you like them back. It's a toss up. Like so I'm saying, you can't look for perfection. It does not exist amongst the male species. It's not going to happen. So you find a guy that you can just tolerate. That's okay. He's all right. And, you can love him. You can build a future with him. And that's it. So, think about your standards and what kind of things that you've rejected men for. You might find you're a little, you can relax some of those a little bit. Like maybe height, weight, because those things fluctuate. Not height, but, weight fluctuates. Height, I've had some of my best relationships with men that was like just a little bit taller than me. But I used to go for the ones that's 6'2", 6'3". I want to date one guy who was 6'5". But I clowned him so bad, I can't believe you're talking to me like that. And I was like, ew, you just give me the ick, your giant ass and just acting stupid. Yeah, they are. So, you just got to basically, I hate to say it, but, women, you're kind of, I hate to use the word settling, but that's pretty much what it is. We have these lofty ideals about the perfection of the man that we want to call our husband. That shit is rare to find. Even my husband, as much as I loved him and he was great in like so many ways, but in other ways he drove me fucking crazy. Like that thing about him wanting to help his family all the time and stuff, to the point where I had to like cuss him out and tell him, look here, you not okay. Half this money coming in here is mine, and you not giving it to nobody. They ain't coming over here. I don't want these motherfuckers around my baby girl. And a whole bunch. I had to like lay the law down with him. And so, they just do shit that gets on your nerves. So you just have to figure out what level of nerve working you can handle. And that's my honest answer for this situation. So, you go back, like I said, and think about the men that you rejected and why you rejected them. Was it something that was, like a knee-jerk reaction, part of a fantasy of perfection? You was looking for Prince Charming instead of Prince Real? Think about it. Question number 15. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Raleigh, North Carolina. Term issue, checking in with you about a comment my father-in-law made about my daughter. Yesterday, my in-laws were at my house and my 7-year-old daughter was eating vanilla ice cream. It was melting a lot. She picked the spoon up and dripped it onto her tongue. My father-in-law said, wow, you're going to make your future boyfriend real happy. What? He said that to a 7-year-old girl? Deb, she's 7. I was actually in another room when this happened. My wife and mother-in-law both told him it was inappropriate. He made the joke a couple of more times even still, and nobody busted him in the mouth. Hit him up, clocked him upside the head with something. We would have been fighting if my father-in-law did some shit like that. I would have hit him with something. Wow. I then said it was inappropriate and left the room. You didn't slap the shit out of him? He even asked my wife if I was mad. He didn't ask me. This morning, my wife is getting texts from both of her parents. Her mother is pissed at him. He is saying what he meant was that her future boyfriend will be not happy about her table manners. Table manners, that had never been a discussion from him, and specifically about a future boyfriend, right? He trying to act like somebody stupid. I asked my wife if there was anything further on this from her parents today. She said she texted that she's good and I'm good. I said, I'm not good. She then told me that it doesn't make sense to her that he would make a perverted comment, so she chooses to believe it's about table manners. I reminded her of him repeating it even after I said it was inappropriate. She put her head in her hands and walked off. Your wife is stupid. She seems to be ignoring me. So now I'm the bad guy here. What are my next steps? Your next steps are to go to your father-in-law and say, look, I'm going to kick your ass if you do or say anything inappropriate to my daughter again. You gotta pass this time, motherfucker, but you do some shit again to my baby, I'm gonna break your fucking neck. That's what you tell him. So you need to control your goddamn mouth. I don't care what you do with your daughter when she was little and you're your wife and all. You think I didn't catch it? You try to play this game with me? I'm her father and I will kill you behind my daughter. I'm not playing with your monkey ass, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. This is your last fucking chance. Now, if I were her father, that's what I would do. You see, I'm a woman and I'm primed and ready to jump in his face and tell him all about that and then clock him upside the head with something. That's what you need to do, sir. You need to do that in front of your wife and in front of her mother and with this father there, and get your fingers in his face, call him a monkey motherfucker and a whole bunch of other stuff, and tell him how you're going to kick his ass if he says anything inappropriate or touches your daughter or even looks at her sideways. Say, I'm not about that life. I will bury you. Now, that's what you need to tell him. Okay. You think I'm kidding? Your wife is stupid. Your wife will be putting your daughter at risk. Luckily, she's only 7, and so she probably didn't, she doesn't catch it. She doesn't know what it is. But yeah, nobody checked him. Well, the mother and the mother-in-law and the baby mama told him that it was inappropriate, but he, said it was inappropriate. Then he walked away. See, no. That I know me. I wouldn't have done it that way. I would have jumped on him and commenced to beating his ass. It's like, we're gonna have the police come because you are showing pedo tendencies about your own granddaughter. So it's also, Daddy, don't you let your stupid wife take that kid over to her parents' house unless you're there. And I want you to stay where your daughter is. Don't you let her wander around the house by herself where this fucker can get a hold of her. Okay? I mean, ideally, you would not go over there at all, but I know with your wife, that's probably not going to happen. But you have to be in a situation where you run an interference. If you need to, you go the legal route and you get a restraining order against him. So you fear for your child's safety because of what he said. And that was so inappropriate and so pedophilistic. I don't even know if that's a word, but I just made it up. But it's so reminiscent of that kind of behavior and attitude. He's looking at your 7-year-old baby in an inappropriately sexual manner. That's what that is. So I don't understand why your wife want to defend that shit. If that was my father, I would call my brothers, call my cousin, everybody. We would beat his ass. But my father's not stupid like that. Yeah. The daughter, don't you let her go over there. Don't you let her go over there. This could be all bad, especially as she starts getting a little older and she starts understanding what's going on and what his leers mean. My heart is racing. That's scary stuff. Question number 16. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Derby in the UK. Certain issue. How do I navigate the insecurities of the new guy I'm dating? You dump his ass. Insecure men are stupid and dangerous. I'm 29. I've been dating a new guy who's 31 for a few weeks. We spent a lot of time together. Weeks, okay. It's very easy to do. So time flies when we're together, and we have both acknowledged we check a lot of each other's boxes. The connection has been to the point where I find myself thinking, wow, this could actually be my person. I know it's early and I'm trying to be grounded about it. But last night I was at his house for dinner and I was feeling frazzled and weird due to things unrelated to him, which I communicated to him. While we were eating, he suddenly became agitated and insinuated that there must be an issue between us due to my vibe. This caught me totally off guard because I literally have no complaints towards him, especially not this early on in the connection, and I told him this. And it led to some vulnerable conversation where he shared some fears and insecurities that he carries from being cheated on in past relationships. Part of his concern is that I just ended a relationship a few months ago, but it had been on and off for a while, which gave me time to process it. So I'm completely 100% resolved regarding it and over my ex. I assured him of this multiple times, but he still brings it up as a concern that I'll get bored with him and go back to my ex. This new guy isn't a rebound. I have done the healing work after this relationship and am fully ready for a healthy new relationship. Later, after what ended up being a productive and connective conversation, we went to bed. He initiated Nook Nook, but I told him I was tired and not sure I was up for it. I eventually gave in, but halfway through, I completely crashed and told him I needed a break. I laid down beside him and dozed off a little. I woke up to him looking very upset. Okay, y'all catch that. His shit was so whack that she went to sleep. Oh, okay. He started saying all things about me ending the Nook Nook prematurely and that he wasn't good enough, that you can't do that to a man, etc. He even said I was gaslighting him for saying that there was no reason I ended Nook Nook other than me legitimately being tired, as it was 3 hours past my usual bedtime. I was in total shock and didn't know how to respond. I stuck around for a little while, but defended myself. Then I decided to go home because I was seriously uncomfortable. What do? You dump his ass, like I said. One thing I see, this. I don't know about other women, but Leo women cannot handle an insecure man. I don't have time for you. I don't want to look at you. Don't come near me. Don't talk to me. Don't look at me. Don't breathe the air I'm breathing. I want you to go to the other side of the planet. That's what I want you to do. Because if I see, like a cat, if I see you insecure man, that's like a mouse to me. I'm a toy with your ass. I'm going to paw you. I'm going to bat you. And then I'm going to pounce. And I'm going to tear your ass up. And I know that about me because I've done it too many times before. I don't like weak ass men. I can't handle it. So you coming at me crying about, well, you can't do that to a man. And I got cheated on in the past and all this old stuff here. What the fuck does that have to do with me? I didn't do it. And I told you I was tired, but you want to, insist on doing something. So then somebody gives in to try to give you a jolly good time, and she's tired. She already told you she was tired before you even got started. You ignored her statement, and then now you want to be mad? See, that's how I would have flipped it around on them. I told you I was tired. You ignored that. So now this is what you get. Yeah, for real, girl. I can't do insecure men. So, what you talking about? What do you do? This to me, you only been dating for a few weeks, you say. This is a huge red flag. This is you in the no-fly zone right now. So you tell him, look, I just realized, from the exchange we had yesterday, that this is not going to work. And so let's part ways. That's what you do. You don't waste more time in a situation where you can see that the man is stupid. Question number 17. We got 25 questions. We're rolling through these very nice. Yeah, they are, especially when they get jealous. Summary of issue. The guy I liked touched my butt. Oh, she's 22 to 27 from Columbus. The guy I liked touched my butt. So I've been chatting with this guy I bump into during my commute. He's cute and I like him, but it's still early. We haven't even been on a date yet. So you're just attracted to him. You don't like him because you don't really know him. Today, after our conversation, we hugged goodbye. Why would you hug somebody goodbye that you only chatted with? No. And he touched my butt. Yeah, of course he did. It felt deliberate, and now I'm unsure how to feel about it. Does this mean he doesn't take me seriously and only sees me as a hookup? I want to make it clear that I'm not into casual dating, but I don't want to come across as too stern. How should I approach this? Because I'm sure I'll see him again next week. You were supposed to, in that moment, get your fucking hands off of me like that. Disrespectful punk. That's what you were supposed to do. So, I was under mistaken belief that you had some sense and that there was somebody I could enjoy talking to and seeing what could happen here between us. But now you done showed yourself to be a disrespectful asshole. I don't want no parts of you. Stay the fuck away from me in the future. When you see me on the commute, I want your ass to get on a different train. Don't even get on the same train as me. Because I don't want no problems where you think you're going to accidentally touch me again, because then I'll be calling the police on your ass for assault. That's what you're supposed to tell him. So he was testing you. That was a whole test. And you did not pass because you did not say anything. You do not let men treat you like that. That's very disrespectful. You're supposed to speak up. Oh my God. Parents, please do better about teaching your daughters Boundaries and self-respect. Please do better. This is sad. But anyway, I hope you understand where I'm going with this. Practice what I said. You know, you're going to see him next week. He's probably going to be all excited and shit like that about talking to you. Say, back the fuck up. Don't talk to me. You treated me like I was nothing but a hoe the last time I saw you. I don't want anything to do with you. I want you to leave me the fuck alone from now until the day you breathe your last breath. Don't talk to me. Don't even look at me. That's what you need to do to turn this around. And you should have done it, like I said, right when he put his hands on you, but you didn't. So you have to end it up. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Knee to the groin. But then you let him hug you. See, why would you let a man that you don't even know and haven't been on a date with and ain't really talked to on the phone, nothing, why would you let him touch you? See, you're not supposed to be hugging random strangers like that. Your boundaries are whack. Okay, don't you ever do that shit again. You don't want men touching you like that. You don't want them that close to you. You don't know what kind of fleas his ass got, vermin and lice and shit, or some kind of disease. He's up here touching your skin. Oh, and hell to the no. I get the icks real easy. I don't be suspect. People be sus and say, I'm looking at them. Don't touch me. Don't stand too close to me either. I don't have a problem with telling people about themselves, though, because I think that this guy, he had his arm up. And I'm short, I'm only 5'5". So this guy, he's probably about 6-something. And he was holding on Bart. They had a rail that goes on across the ceiling. He's holding on up there because that's how tall he was. But that made his armpit be like right here by my head. So I'm turning, you turn, you're looking out the window and stuff. I kept getting whiffs of this underarm funk from this man. I said, okay, tap, tap, tap. I'm like, dude, I need you to switch arms because you smell. And that smell is about to knock me out. And he got really red and he switched arms. So that he was holding on with this arm that was by me. He switched to this arm and I was like, oh, thank you, Lord. He still had a stinky smell, but at least it wasn't right in my face. It was hot. It was the end of the day. I know his deodorant had probably run away. And, tell high. It was like, I give up. I'm tired of fighting this funk. So, but I was like, tap, tap, tap. I couldn't think the train was crowded. I was like, I'm going to fucking faint from this underarm pit smell this man got here. I can't do it. But you need to switch. You got to switch arms. This ain't working. The sister can't breathe. BREAVE. Yeah, I'll never forget that. I was like, woof. Let's move on. Question number 18 of 25. Summary of issue. This is a male 35 to 41 from Louisville, Kentucky. Summary of issue. This is a vent to women. Don't be afraid to compliment a man's appearance on a date. Okay, let's see what he's talking about before I go off. I'm 36. I'm struggling with finding a partner. I've been trying to foster a romantic relationship for a while now. And one thing I've noticed that makes me feel less than is the lack of a compliment about how I look on a first date. Wow, really? I've always said this. Men are just so fucking needy. Men don't even feel like men unless a woman tells them that they're one. Did you guys ever really notice that? And they try to say they're the leaders and they're the strong ones. No, they're not. That's a lie. That's the biggest scam that's ever been perpetrated on the whole gender of people. Sex, gender, race, whatever you want to call it. It's so not true. Men are very dependent on women. So anyway, he says, I know this may probably sound whiny and maybe I'm in the minority, ? But I actually try my hardest to look clean and presentable for a first date. Well, what other way should you look? I'll get a haircut, make sure my clothes are clean. I clean and cut my nails and make sure I smell nice, etc. Basically, all the simple hygienic things that should be a given. And I find myself wanting just the tiniest bit of acknowledgement about it. I know women must feel similar. Getting your nails and hair done, makeup, etc. I see the effort women put in. To have all of that not get acknowledged hurts a little. Not enough to ruin my day or anything, but it does stand out to me. I'm very cognizant of these kinds of things, and I like to compliment my dates and acknowledge that I see the effort they put in to look nice. However, I find that is very rarely reciprocated. Men typically don't get complimented, so even one compliment can make a man's day. For example, I go to rock climbing gym 3 to 4 times a week, and I'm in the best shape of my life. I put in a decent amount of effort and work to look as handsome as I can for a date. When I leave the house, I look in the mirror and get kind of hyped up because of how nice I look. Ha ha. You're killing me. I'm not saying it needs to be some overly romantic, poetic, transcendent type of compliment. I really think a very basic, very simple, you look handsome, or that article of clothing looks great on you, is more than enough and would send me over the moon for days. Maybe I've gotten unlucky or something, but it doesn't feel like compliments are the norm in dating these days. Anyway, ladies, next time you go on a date, if they look nice, just let them know. Okay, but that wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But he might be right. I mean, if there's something that you appreciate about the guy, I mean, even if it's like, his eye color, his lashes, his haircut is fly, you like his shoes. I mean, whatever it is, it's not going to hurt you to do that. I don't know. I just do it as part of flirting. Like if I see a guy who's, I think is cute, he got a nice beard, a nice smile or something, I'll be like, ooh, your beard is cooking. That looks really good. Why am I coughing all of a sudden? Hold on a second. He worked for a month. That's so cute. Yeah, I mean, and I like a dude with dimples. I'm just like, ooh, smile for me again. Ooh, take a picture with me. Let's do a selfie. Smile at the camera. But yeah, they do, yeah, they do. So, you guys, ladies, think about that. I mean, especially if it's a guy that you're interested in. If you're not interested in, definitely don't compliment him because you never get rid of him. But if you are, kind of interested in a guy, you want to, second date or something, pull out them compliments. Let him know what you think about him. Even if it's like, you compliment this choice of restaurant. I don't know. There's plenty of opportunities. I'm not saying blow smoke up his ass and just make up shit. If it's sincere, then you comment on it. You don't have to hold it to yourself. That's what I'm saying. Let's move on. Question 19 of 25. We're winding things down here. This young lady in the 28 to 34 age group from Manchester, England. Summary of issue: how to navigate meals with my, quote, chicken nugget American boyfriend. I moved in with my boyfriend of 2 years, Eric, and we've agreed to split cooking 50-50, which means 1 week I cook all the meals and the next week he cooks all the meals. To say he is a chicken nugget boyfriend is hyperbolic, but to put it into context, I grew up with a French chef for a dad, so I've learned to cook good, varied, and healthy meals. Ooh. My boyfriend can make spaghetti, chili con carne, and other basic meat and vegetable sort of dishes that I guess are popular in the States. I'm not trying to make mad elaborate dishes like coq au vin or anything, but he doesn't like any kind of fish unless it's breaded, so no salmon, mackerel, or anything like that. Can't serve any meat that is, quote, on the bone, so no wings, chicken thighs, or anything soups that require a meat broth. For vegetables, I can't go too elaborate. Either broccoli, peas, and carrots are fine, though. Took the first year to get him to eat a salad. He gonna die of colon cancer. Recently, he came with me to visit my family in France for Christmas, where my chef dad wanted to make a huge, elaborate meal for us, and I had to veto basically everything except classic meat and vegetables, which was a bit embarrassing, and was served on the bone, which he ate. If forced, i.e. in front of my dad, he would eat everything and always enjoy it. Okay, well then why do you cater to his ass? I would like a healthy, varied diet. On the weeks I cook, I like to try new recipes, Thai, Vietnamese, fish dishes, etc. And I don't know whether it's unfair to just cook what I like and tell him to lump it, or to cater to him when it's my week to cook and just do what I know he'll eat. His cooking weeks are pretty basic, but I don't complain. However, I'd like to do what I want when it's my week. Any thoughts? Yeah, do what you want. That should be part of it. During the week when he cooks, you decide what you're going to cook. And then, both the other person just has to eat it. So I don't understand why you're letting him dictate what you cook. Especially if he eats what your dad cooks with all the things he says he's not going to eat, and then he enjoys it. See, to me, that would be like all bets are now off. I'm going to cook what the fuck I want, and you're going to like it. And that would just be that. We're sitting up there eating chicken nuggets and fish sticks. That stuff is kill you. I don't know, girl. I think you cater too much to his alleged taste. He needs to grow up. He has a palate of a 5-year-old. And I would embarrass him and tell him that too. You need to eat like a fucking adult. This is ridiculous. Question number 20. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Everett, Washington. Summary of issue. My boyfriend of 3 years wants 50% of the profit on the house that I own. Oh, does he now? Telling people in hell want ice water too. And just like they don't get that, you ain't getting 50% of my house. So in 2023, my boyfriend and I, we're 25 and 26 respectively, planned to buy a house together. Well, that was stupid. One that needed a ton of work. Since he was dealing with some legal stuff, we decided I would take out a conventional loan in my name, and the house would also be solely under my name for now. Our plan was to split the initial payment, down payment, and closing costs and future renovation costs 50-50. He really wanted a house that needed work. He likes projects, but I didn't really want that kind of responsibility. I knew he didn't really have the time for a project, and I couldn't help him much physically, as he was planning on doing a lot of the renovation himself, but assured me that he knew that and he would just wanted me to support him. I even told him multiple times that I would rather use my VA loan to buy a move-in ready house with zero down payment. Okay, so why didn't you do that? But he insisted I should save my VA loan for later and that all I needed to do was support him. The week we were supposed to close on the house, we had a huge fight, and I was sure that I was done with him. By that point, everything was already set up with the lawyer, and I felt stuck. I thought I had no choice but to go through with the purchase. So I signed the papers, the loan house in my name as planned, and since I assumed I was doing this alone, I covered the down payment and closing costs myself. My plan was to apply for grants, fix what I could, and then sell the house. Okay, so at this point, all the financial investment is from your pocket. Okay, but then we got back together, and he started helping with renovations. He put about $30,000 into the house between money and labor, but the house still wasn't livable. We weren't living there, and we couldn't rent it out either. Over time, we had several arguments about the house, and one major issue being that he was working on a house that wasn't even in his name. This was brought up multiple times by him when he was in a foul mood. Again, he was still going through his legal stuff, so I told him I could either pay him back the $30,000 once I sold the house, which I really wanted to do back then, because the house was far from livable and I felt like it was wasting my money on mortgage and taxes, or we could put his name on the deed after his legal issues were resolved if he agreed to split the mortgage and future maintenance costs. But he refused. Okay, so still, all the money connected with the house is out of your pocket. I'm just tracking this. He didn't want to be responsible for the mortgage or any maintenance. Okay, I'll keep trying to keep this straight. This letter's long as hell. I even paid a lawyer to draft an agreement stating that once his legal issues were resolved, he would officially own half the house as long as he agreed to cover half the mortgage and maintenance, which seemed fair to me. But he wouldn't sign because he didn't want that financial responsibility. Fast forward to 2025, and the house is still sitting there because neither of us have time or money to work on it. I've been the one covering the mortgage and utilities since it's in my name. Recently, there was some water damage in the house, and the insurance is likely going to cover it. There's a high chance I could end up with a completely renovated home due to the damage. And also recently, I got approved for over $30,000 to $50,000 worth of home repair grants. So by the end of 2025, I will most likely have a brand new house. Now he wants me to sell the house after the renovation is completed, buy a new one with him. But I don't want to sell. I'd rather rent it out because it's going to be a brand new house. And if I do sell, I don't think it's fair for him to expect 50% of the profit. The most I agreed to paying him was the $30,000 he put in. But now he wants half of the total profit, which could be around $130,000 after all the insurance and grant money goes into fixing it up. I told him I still honor our original agreement and pay him back the $30,000, but he's upset and claims I used him. The truth is, I never asked him to put the work on the house. He did it on his own. Of course, I appreciate what he did, which is why I want to pay him back what he put in. But I don't think it's fair for him to demand that half the profit when he wasn't even willing to pay half the mortgage, which was less than $500 for him, or be half responsible for maintenance. What's the fair thing to do here? Does he deserve 50% of the profit? I want you to immediately go to the attorney that drafted up the agreement for you guys and note that he chose to not sign it. And I want you to take that $30,000 that you were going to give him. Well, I guess you don't have it yet, huh? Because you said when you sell the house. I don't know, shit. Figure something out. But even if it's only $10,000, you put it in a trust account with the attorney. And then you keep adding to it until it gets to the $30,000. Then when you get your house sold, he's going to want half of it. You're going to have to take him to court and you're going to show all the documentation, the communications of him not wanting to contribute anything, and him working on the house and all this other stuff, and that's all he gets out of it. It's like a mechanic's lien. That's what they call it, well, at least in California. When you do work on someone's property and they don't pay you, you file a lien on the house. So once the house is sold, they pull your money out from the, before the seller gets their money, so that you get paid. So you, in a situation like that, can either do it that way or file a mechanics lien against the title of the property, or you can just start funneling money to the attorney for this trust account. But talk to the attorney and see what they recommend as the best approach of action. But that's what I would do. So then, you say, look, the money's there. All you got to do is go sign the paper and get it. And then this shit here is over. But see, he's trying to play you. So he got his court case and you paying all the bills and stuff, and then he gonna claim half of it. No, you get $30,000, motherfucker. That's all you get. Now, my brother is a real estate attorney, and my other brother was in mortgage banking for a year. My daddy owned property around San Francisco for decades. So I grew up in a real estate family. So one thing I do know is real estate. I may not know shit else, but I know that. So this is not gonna fly. Even though you're in, what didn't she say they was in another country, somewhere in Europe? Let me just double check. Oh no, she's in Everett, Washington. Okay, so she's another state, but still in the United States. So it's that ain't gonna go down like that. He's hoping you stupid enough to agree to it. Don't you dare. You go see an attorney, like I said, first, so that he knows, you can go get the attorney to vouch for the fact that he never came to sign the document and chose not to. So you're going to need that if you end up having to go to court, which I think that you will. You're going to need that attorney's testimony to shore up your argument why he doesn't deserve. He never wanted to contribute, but he want to pull out half the profit. Think again. Question number 21. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group out of New York. Sir, issue, was I right to report my food delivery driver? Ooh. I'm 25 and got back the other night from an evening out with some friends. Drunk, I ordered food online. The buzzer for my building is intermittently working, so I left a note to call me with my number if it doesn't work. Around 2 a.m. when my food came, I got a call. I was already looking out the window when the phone rang and the driver was in his car before even attempting the buzzer. I went downstairs to collect my delivery. When I opened the door, he came into the building and asked me the code, which doesn't usually happen, but I didn't question at the time. He then asked me what I was doing. I told him I'm having this food and I'm going to bed, expecting that to be small talk to be over. I thought he was being polite and trying to be engaging for a tip. He then asked if I had been to a party. Finding the extra small talk awkward, I said, yeah, but time for bed now, thank you, good night, and let go of the door and walked upstairs, which are facing the door. I walked around him, but he was that far into the building. But then I got a gut feeling and I turned around about halfway. He was still in the building, standing so the door was still open. Ooh. I told him to shut the door, please. And his reply was, is there anyone upstairs? Wow. I said, yes, now shut the door. Lock the door. And he said, okay, and walked out, letting the door shut. I came upstairs, locked and chained my apartment door. Then adrenaline hit me. I messaged the delivery company. The buzzer for my building isn't working. So I, a lone female, went downstairs to collect my delivery. As I was walking back up the stairs, the driver locked the door from closing, and remained inside the building. When I asked him to close the door, he asked me, is anyone else upstairs? I had to ask him again before he finally left. This made me feel extremely uncomfortable and unsafe, as it seemed like he was trying to find out if I was alone, and he ignored my request to leave straight away. Now that I've calmed down, I'm wondering if I was wrong to do that. I watch a lot of true crime, and I'm worried that I should have chalked this up to an awkward encounter and not contacted the company in case it affects his job. What would you have done, Deb? Exactly the same thing. But see, Deb, in a situation like that, I would have gone to the door with a knife, my gun, or some bear spray or something. So if he tried to get jiggy, he would be ventilated. I'm not playing with these people, but I wouldn't order no food at 2 a.m. First of all, that's just asking for trouble. I'm going to just tell you what my daddy told me. Don't nothing good happen after midnight. And don't nothing good happen after midnight. At midnight, have your ass in your house with the doors locked. Okay? And I think if more women adhered to that rule, a lot of bullshit that women have to deal with wouldn't be happening because they would be safely ensconced at home. Now, yes, people do break into your house. I'm aware of that. But, at your house is where you control the environment. So what do you have there? Weaponry? I have weapons all over my house. Any room that I go into, somebody leaving, bleeding, and it ain't going to be me. Okay? They're everywhere, all over. Don't come up in here. That would be a mistake. So in this situation, you just went downstairs just like bear with no defensive, nothing. And just, what was you going to do if he grabbed you? Choked you out and dragged you upstairs back to your apartment, which you left the door unlocked because you was coming right back. So then what would happen? See, you made some really odd decisions here. Yeah, very scary. But my thing, I'm not victim blaming. What I'm explaining is the mistakes in judgment that she made so that you listening don't do the same thing. That's what I'm using this as an example of what not to do. Okay. Ordering takeout at 2 in the morning, I wouldn't do that. Make some scrambled eggs or something, some toast, peanut butter and jelly sandwich, something. You just want to bed anyway. Why you need a whole takeout meal? Yeah, this dude was up to some shenanigans, and you did the right thing to report him because you may have saved someone else. You're thinking, well, it might affect his job. Who gives a fuck? If he was like concerned about his job, he wouldn't have been acting so predatory. Okay, and that question is anyone else upstairs that was so inappropriate and definitely trying to find out what's going on. So what opportunity he would have to do something horrible to you. And you know what I'm talking about. Don't type it. That's what he was after. He ain't slick. Ain't nobody knows his game. But yeah, hopefully they will get rid of him. And if there was any other complaints that, what you just said, because, if they couldn't prove it, but now you just said what he did before you got, before it turned worse. So I think that was a good move. Stop questioning and doubting yourself. Feel confident about the decisions that you make to protect yourself. Question number 22. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from Escondido, California. Summary of issue. I told my friend that I didn't want to go on vacation with her because she always complains about money and now she is mad. I'm a 20-year-old female and my friend invited me on a trip to the beach this summer. At first I was excited because I love the idea of getting away and spending time together. But every time we would talk about it, she constantly would bring up how expensive everything is and complain about not being able to afford certain activities, even though she has a decent job and doesn't seem to struggle financially, because she wants you to volunteer to cover it. That's what that is. It's honestly really draining. And I feel like I'm just going to be spending the whole trip trying to reassure her that she can afford it and that it's okay to spend money on things like this. I told her that I prefer to skip the trip if she's going to be negative about it. And now she's really upset, saying that I'm tripping. I don't want to lose our friendship over this, but I also feel like I'm allowed to want a stress-free vacation. Was I wrong? Nope. You put her on notice. I'm not trying to hear your complaining ass being on vacation with no complaining ass bitch. Get out of here. Paying too much money to hear you whine and complain about every goddamn thing. I'm with you, but I would have said it in a much more direct and vulgar way. It's like, you bitch, you tripping. Nobody trying to hear all that. Whining like a fucking toddler. I'm going by myself. That's what I'm gonna do. Plus, it's like, it's like that saying, bring sand to the beach. All them fine ass men to be at the beach, running around in them little skateboarding and lifting weights and stuff and doing all kind of stuff on the beach with their little skimpy shorts on and shirts off and stuff. It's like eye candy for days. Why would you want to go with some whining ass bitch? No, don't do it. Question number 23. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from Calgary, Canada. Summary of issue. Is it okay to normalize not being okay when people cancel first dates in an inconsiderate way? I'm talking about online dating mainly. I get it. Things happen, and I'm not talking about legit excuses. At this point, I think most people who have a real reason for canceling dates usually are very good at demonstrating sincerity and will try to reschedule. The people I think deserve being called out are people who normally schedule first dates with strangers almost arbitrarily while still not fully committing to the plans. Obviously, there are time wasters and people who change their mind last minute are definitely a part of life. But the issue is people who set plans, especially on times when people can do other things like Friday and Saturday nights, and then suddenly become the worst communicator in the world and cancels or ghosts in a super inconvenient manner. In my experience, usually it will be someone who wants to do an ungodly amount of texting and phone talking, which is usually one-sided, and will often ask to schedule things weeks in advance. Then once things get closer to the date and suddenly the energy will shift and boom, cancel text right when we pull up to the restaurant. Usually when these people cancel, they never offer to reschedule, and you can tell from the tone that the reason is either BS or kind of a whim. Oh, my friend just invited me to hang out, and I forgot the plans we made weeks ago, even though we have texted for 2 weeks. Or, oh my God, I saw something in the news that triggered me and I can't leave the house when I said I was on the way like 20 minutes ago after you left. In those situations where it wasn't so much an emergency, but more the person was just being fickle, is it really on the onus of the person who got screwed over due to a stranger's lack of punctuality to be cool about it? You use so many words. You could have summed this up in one paragraph. My God, you really in your feelings about these people canceling on you. Let me ask you this. What the fuck do you think somebody who you never met, don't know, is going to care about you being upset? They don't care. They didn't care about you stiffing you and ghosting you or whatever it is, standing you up is the phrase I was looking for. They didn't care about that. They didn't show you the least bit of concern or respect. So you really think that, you getting mad and that you not being cool with their decision is going to impact them? If they don't give a fuck. If they cared about you being mad, they wouldn't have done what they did. That shows you that they don't care. So the person who is going to benefit from you being cool about this is you. The other person does not give a fuck. So you all this emotion about people canceling a date. First of all, some of this is your responsibility. For one thing, don't let somebody make dates with you weeks in advance. Why would you even do that? The date, okay, it's Wednesday. The date is Friday. If you can't make it, then don't call me ever again. That would be me. I would just block them. It wouldn't be a conversation. So, they want to go out on Saturday. No, that's if you're going on a Saturday, that's the fucking night. We're not doing that. I'm gonna see you Tuesday, I'll see you Thursday. Monday, I'll see you Wednesday. Something like that. You see them during the week. You don't let these randos take up your valuable dating time or even your chill at home time. You know what I mean? I just don't understand this. Your dating style is whack. And then, they want to, just because they want to do amount of texting and calling. So what, you don't know how to say no? You don't say no, that I don't like that style. I want to meet. If you're not willing to meet and you think you're going to build a relationship by texting, then we don't have anything in common. You got to have boundaries. I mean, you're a grown-ass man. You should be running your life. You don't let some random broad from a website tell you what to do and dictate your life like this. You say, I'm going to meet, we're going to meet, we're going to either meet on Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday. Which night works best for you? Oh, well, this week is not good for me. Okay, well then let's later. You don't let them say, well, I want to meet on Saturday. No, bitch, like I said, that's the fucking night. That's bitch shit be happening on that night, and that's not for you. You get Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Which one do you want? So, you decide that. You're just letting them decide and dictate everything, and then you want to be mad about it. Man the fuck up. Take control. Where's your testosterone and your cojones and stuff? Let these bitches be running you like this. This is sad that you let them get away with this. Texting you to death and all this old stuff. I don't let people text me like that. You texting me, we ain't building no relationship by a fucking text. Get out of here. Question number 24. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Lafayette, Louisiana. So I have an issue. How do I maintain boundaries with the clingy girlfriend of my brother-in-law without coming across as the evil sister-in-law? Okay. He's dating a girl and you want to know how to set boundaries. Okay, what kind of mess is this? For context, my husband comes from a family of all boys. His mom and I are typically the only women at events and holidays with the immediate family. I've never thought much of this. Everyone gets along fine as a group. But my brother-in-law is 35. He's had a few long-term girlfriends over the years we've known each other. I wouldn't describe him as us being particularly close, but we get along well and typically see each other 2 or 3 times a year. This is an issue I keep running into with his girlfriends, though, and I can't figure out how to navigate it. But let me just share some of these recent events. I have met brother-in-law's most recent girlfriend twice now. They've been together for just under a year. The first time I met her, I was clear that she expected us to be instantly close. She shared really personal, intimate information with me to which I didn't really know how to appropriately respond. It was uncomfortable considering a lot of it was related to my brother-in-law, who's a family member. During that visit, she repeatedly referred to me as her new sister, her new bestie, etc. Wow. You didn't shut that down? The weekend went fine. I liked her, moved past the weird topics. Since then, she has kept in touch regularly through text and social media. There's nothing inherently wrong with this, but I only met her for a few hours prior. Fast forward a few months and we had another family event. She was pushing the sister/best friend thing again. I tried to be kind and play along, but I don't know her that well. And I don't know how to navigate that kind of immediate affection. She's talking about babies, nook, and marriage, and asking me very personal questions as well. That's because you didn't shut her down. At some point, I made a joking/rude comment to one of my other brother-in-laws, and she asked me to roast her too. Wow. I said something along the lines of, oh, I'm only mean to the men. I would never. And she made a comment about how we are all family, and that is clear. I don't consider her as such. Like she's not a family. I thought she was joking, but the tone shifted after that. I was polite and, at least I think, welcoming over the course of the trip, but maybe a bit more standoffish than she would have liked. She stopped communicating with me since, which is fine, but also telling that I hurt her feelings and I feel bad. I feel like a lot of this is because we're the only 2 women in this generation of the family, and maybe she wants that kind of companionship with me, which is fair. I have lots of amazing female friendships and would love for us to get along, but her reproach is overwhelming. I welcome any advice on how to not come across as the evil sister-in-law while also having some normal boundaries. Typically, if I was having a relationship issue with a friend, I'd just be straightforward and honest with them. But we generally don't know each other that well, and I think that approach would hurt her feelings. Who gives a fuck? I mean, y'all kill me with this worrying about hurting people's feelings that hurt yours. Now, you said she's being intrusive. She asked you all kind of nosy questions and telling you stuff about your brother-in-law and their sex life and stuff that you don't really want to hear. You're not trying to know him like that. That's what I'm saying. I'm shocked you didn't shut her down and say, look, it's nice that you're his girlfriend and everything, and I will take my time to get to know you, but this direction of conversation I feel is very inappropriate, and I want you to stop. Don't talk to me about those kind of subjects when it concerns him. I don't want to know him like that. I'm not trying to be all in his bedroom and stuff. That's kind of gross to me. And just shut it down. And she talking about your bestie and all this kind of stuff. You're supposed to say, look, I've just met you and you seem cool and all that, but you're pushing this. You're being a little bit too, you're putting too much pressure on me to sign on to this. I'm not your best friend. We're not sisters. You're not married and you're not a family member. You're a girlfriend. You stay in your lane. Now, if you 2 get married, then yes, then those things will change. But right now, you're just a girlfriend. So, you know what I mean? And I would just tell her that. Would it hurt her feelings? I really wouldn't give a fuck because it's facts. You know what I mean? And if somebody's feelings are hurt because of you recite some facts to them, well, then I don't know what to tell you. That's just the way it is. Yeah, just trying to glob onto somebody. Hey, Mo. Look at you wandering in here all on the late break. Okay, let's read this last question. Question 25 this week. We will be here, like I said, Sundays now for the foreseeable future, because that's the day that I switch the room. My daughter comes out and I come in. Let's do question number 25. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Summary issue. I get the ick over a coworker that won't stop flirting with me. The summer of 2023, after graduating college, I started my apprenticeship at a chemical lab. Everything was fine until a year later when a coworker who works at the facility management started to flirt with me. At first, he just tried to make small talk conversations, telling me that I looked prettier than before and started to talk more openly. I didn't really mind at first until he started asking me weird questions like which train I take to get to work or when I leave the lab. After I noticed that he might be interested, I immediately told him that I'm in a happy relationship. He just replied, oh, I don't mind that you have a boyfriend. For about 2 months, he tried to talk to me, asking private questions and making weird comments. But one day he took it too far. There's a music room in the basement where I work at, which happens to be next to his office. I go there at least once a week to play some piano or sing a little bit on my breaks. I never knew his office was right next to that room. So that day he walks into the music room while I was playing the piano. I got up and wanted to leave since I have no interest in talking to him. Mind you, I blew him off a couple of times already at this point. So I get up, I try to leave, and this guy just won't get out of my way. It's a tight space already, but he just stood in front of me, not leaving me any room to leave the room. I got angry and said I wanted to go, but he kept asking questions like, why are you so pretty? Or tell me more things about yourself. Wow. So this is sexual harassment now. When they won't let you leave a space, and like it is straight up sexual harassment, that's like a prosecutable offense. So I snapped. I recorded the conversation and screamed at him, telling him to get out of my way. He did finally get out of my way, and I stormed off. This happened all in about 3 minutes. So he didn't really do something crazy. Yes, he did. I don't understand what your level of crazy is, but blocking somebody's safe access and keep preventing them from leaving a space where you're harassing them, that is crazy. So do you think I overreacted, or should I just tell my boss about it? Every time he walks past me now, I ignore him and he snaps his finger in front of my face. What does that even mean? It's just rude. You stupid. You should have went with your recording immediately after that happened to your supervisor and to HR and reported him. What he did was a serious case of sexual harassment. I mean, it's very threatening what he did, because now he's got you pinned in a room where you can't get out. It's like just like kidnapping, because trying to get away and he's not letting you go. See, that's the time when, like I said, bear spray, knee to the groin. Something really serious should be happening to him. But why do these girls, it's like they don't teach these girls shit. So you go into these corporate environments and you don't know how to handle yourself with these kind of men. This is the scariest thing to me. They get out of school, they go into college, they go into the workforce, and they don't know shit about how to protect themselves, to have boundaries, to get me and back these clowns up off of them, to go to HR, report them, get a maternity on retainer, all kind of stuff should be happening. You should never accept this kind of behavior from a male on your job. Females either, but the men are the ones who are the big threats to young girls like you. This is unfortunate. Listen to me. Go take your little narrow ass to HR tomorrow morning, Monday morning, and you report what happened. You report the date and the time, and you tell everything and say, this guy, and now he's going in front of my face, snapping his fingers. I want you to keep an eye out and watch him. Just hide out, be unobtrusive and watch his behavior towards me. So I want it documented so that it's not just my word against his. I need somebody else to see this too. And you invite them to watch. Okay? This is insane that you tolerate this. Yeah, it's never too late to report. Plus it's like, it's been happening for a while, but he just, he's just up in the ante. See, so the next time now he's done blocked your way, the next time he's going to put his hands on you. Stop him now. Let's say he needs to get fired, really. He needs to get terminated because he's a threat to the female employee, to you at least, and he may be doing to other people as well. I don't even know what to say, because I would have ran upstairs and told everybody. But see, I'm a good tattletale. I learned how to tell. I have the art down because I used to tell my brothers all the time. I tell everything. Mommy, Daddy, let me tell you what they did. And I just be telling it. So, I still have that trait. It's in me. It's deeply ingrained to tattle. So, yeah, I've been tattling and tell everybody. Guess what this motherfucker just did? I was in the music room trying to play my piano and sing and roll my break. And he came in and I tried to leave because he messes with me all the time. And then he blocked the door, and to keep me, I had to scream at him and start recording the conversation. Listen to this. And just let everybody hear it. That's what I do. Oh, she could keep it. She don't have to keep the recording. She should just she should definitely download it to the cloud. But she can give them, email it to HR so they have a copy too. But yeah, I'm telling you, just tell it. Just tell it. Just tattle like it's the thing to do. So anyway, it's time for me to leave. I have some stuff in my crock pot. I'm ready to eat me some dinner with some asparagus and a Caesar salad and some roasted baby potatoes. That's what I'm getting ready to have. So we will be back next Sunday. I have to get more regular so I can get my audience back. I was just all messed up, and the traffic done dropped way off on the channel. And it's my fault. There's nobody's fault but mine. So I can't even say anything. Yes, I'm trying to eat more fruits and vegetables. I just fell off of everything. I fell off doing the show. I fell off going to the gym. I fell off eating right. I don't know what happened. I just fell off. So, but I'm trying to find my way back. I have to be a good example for everybody, right? So I'm taking my role seriously. So I will see you guys here next Sunday. Be sure to set your calendar. You can go on the page and set a reminder for the next show. It'll be next Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific. That's 7 if you're on the East Coast. All right. So I will see you guys then.